Thanks. So it seems like Mike can hear me. So as long as Jess, you can hear me, we're going to get started with our meeting with a short prayer and a salute to our flag. So please stand. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all of our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice to our nation. And may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. A statement of publication, please, Jess.
Take notice that this regular meeting of the mayor and council being held on this 28th day of June 2021 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Conti,
Here.
Delina,
Present.
Enriquez,
Here.
Marr,
Here.
Novak,
Here.
Roberts.
Have her on.
Don, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sure.
And our professional, the business administrator,
Present.
CFO,
Here.
engineer,
Here.
and attorney.
Here.
Thank you very much, Jess. We'll move on to the approval of our prior minutes. Council President Delina, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the following minutes for the dates listed for June 14th be approved on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Delina,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Enriquez,
Yes.
Marr,
Yes.
Novak,
Abstain.
Roberts.
Yes.
At this point, we'll move on with the rest of our agenda. I see that we have no proclamations or presentations for today. Is there any need for executive session today, Mr. Dupont?
No, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Then we will move forward with old business. We have a public hearing on 2 ordinances. Jess?
Public hearing on bond ordinance number 532-21, bond ordinance to authorize the making of a grant for the development and construction of affordable housing redevelopment project in, by, and for the borough of Sayreville in the county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, to appropriate a sum of $2,275,000 to pay the cost thereof, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Thank you, Jess. At this time, I'll open to the public for any and all questions relating to bond ordinance number 532-21 only. If you wish to speak, please press star 9 on your phone or the raise hand feature if you're logging in. Seeing none, I will entertain a motion. I believe that is Councilwoman Roberts.
Vicky, there is somebody.
Oh, I apologize. I did not see that on my end. If you can see the hand raise, I'm under attendees right now, so I don't see that. Ladies, would you please let me know which hand raise that is, or which individual is indicating they wish to speak?
It's Mr. Robinson.
Jim Robinson, 11 Burrell Square. I just have one question. Is this a part of the settlement, the COA settlement, and is the COA settlement dependent on the passage of this?
Here to Councilwoman Roberts. I can ask Council. I can tell you that this, as far as my understanding goes, Mr. Robinson, this ordinance is 100% a result of that settlement agreement. Without this, that entire agreement would unravel like wet bread. Am I correct, Mr. Dupont?
You are correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Mr. Robinson. Any other questions relating to this bond and ordinance? Ladies, let me know if you see any on your side, because I still don't know why I wasn't able to see Jim's hand go up. So I don't see any on my side.
No, we're good.
Okay, so then I will entertain a motion from Councilwoman Roberts, please.
Mayor, I did not introduce this ordinance.
Mike, can she still adopt?
If she's not willing to move it, then I would suggest that whoever is second in the committee move it and for approval. So it's a motion to close and approve of the bond ordinance.
So
I make a
Mary, okay, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to close the public portion and to adopt the ordinance on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Delina,
Yes.
Enriquez,
Yes.
Mar,
I think we should. Yeah.
You not hear me?
no, we didn't. You were on mute.
Yes.
Okay. And Roberts.
No.
What was that?
No.
No.
Okay, this will bring us next to ordinance number 533-21. Jess?
Public hearing on ordinance number 533-21, an ordinance supplementing and amending ordinance number 437-19, fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2020 to 2022.
At this time, I'll once again open to the public for any and all questions relating to ordinance number 533-21. If you wish to speak, please press *9. And I do not see any hand raises on my side. I'll double check again just with you. And Nicole, do you see any?
No.
Okay, so at this point, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion and adopt the ordinance. I believe that is Councilwoman Roberts.
Again, since I didn't introduce it, I will pass it on to someone who was present or introduced.
Okay, I make a motion to adopt, close the public portion, adopt the ordinance on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Selena,
Yes.
Enriquez,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, we're going to move to the appointments. There were several appointments that were within our packet that I'd like to make today. The first is to the Municipal Alliance Commission, which is Doreen Conciamano. I also see a interest here in another application for Jeannie Cirillo for the Safe Alliance, as well as Danielle, and I always apologize because I say this wrong all the time. Is it Mariana? Mariana? Is that correct, Jess?
It's good.
Okay, to the Municipal Alliance, as well as Elise Barone to the Municipal Alliance as well.
I would like to make a motion to appoint those people to their selected committees.
Second.
Second.
Thank you all very much. Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Delina,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Enriquez,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
On these boards and commissions, the volunteerism is so important in order to keep these boards and progress moving forward. We're going to move on to new business. I don't believe we have any new ordinances for today, so we're going to move right to the consent agenda resolutions, and I'll open to the public for any and all questions relating to consent agenda items only. I see no hands on my side. So at this point, unless the ladies see any on their side, I will entertain.
No, we're clear.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion and to adopt consent agenda resolutions.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the public portion be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be adopted on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Delina,
Yes.
Conti,
Hey, Jess, question. Can I, on the bill list, can I abstain from one particular item that's on there? 21-031, so 21-03120.
you have to be a little bit more specific for me, because I don't
It's
run off
for
with the bill.
Sayreville
go ahead.
Athletic.
Who's the Sayreville AA?
Yeah, $900.
Okay. Okay.
The rest I'm good.
Enriquez,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Novak,
I would really, I would like 187 to be removed. I think $6,500 to just change the speed limit 5 minutes on Main Street is a little ridiculous. I would like to petition the county to allow us to use a traffic study conducted by our traffic safety department. They're more than capable of answering all of the questions and doing the speed limit and how many cars pass and what hours of the day and what their speed limit is, as well as the fact how close we are to parks and how many residential. I really would, and then I would also like to ask the police department until we can, get this done, that they have some speed ticketing out there in the evenings when this seems to be happening. It doesn't seem to be happening so much during the day, because I really think that that's ridiculous. It's almost like, it's for 5 miles. They're literally, this is a robbery. So
Hey,
like,
If
Can't vote for
if our local police can conduct a study, can we hold back on that 6,500? We don't have to spend it. It's slated for that, because I did talk with Sergeant Braille and he did say he'd put something together after speaking with Jay Cornell about it, to try and do it from within. And if they can do that and everything works out, can we save on spending that money? That's what I was.
According to
would
the
like to-
county,
Oh.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
According to the county, everything you have all said previously is correct. It's that the county will not accept or receive our traffic study. They only have to, in order to reduce the traffic speed, they have to have a traffic study by a reputable traffic engineer. We can do the work, we can do everything and some of the extra work beforehand, but a traffic engineer is the person that they will rely on to move that forward on a county level. If we want to look at it from just our level, we can do it first and see how that works out and determine on a later date if we want to move forward.
I would like to move forward with that. Instead of spending the $6,500, as Councilwoman Novak had said, I would like to do an internal study beforehand, see how many people are actually speeding on that part of Main Street. And from there, we can make our own decision internally if we would move forward and spend the $6,500 on the actual traffic study through an engineer and put forward through the county.
Mike, would we need a motion to remove that resolution from the agenda?
Yeah, so my suggestion is that there is a motion, presently there's a motion, first and a second, to approve. Someone needs to modify that motion to table 2021-187.
So I'll make the motion, Mike. Is that okay if I make a motion to table 2021-187?
Yeah, you made the initial motion, so just revise your motion to approve, subject to tabling 2021-187.
Okay. So I will make a motion to table 2021-187.
And all the other matters listed before on the agenda will be approved.
That is correct. And so all other agendas listed before that will be approved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jess?
Councilpersons Delina,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Enriquez,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Novak, Councilwoman Novak, you there?
Yes.
Okay. Roberts.
Just one other point on that, with all the great discussion, if we are going to have to take this to the county for that $6,500 fee, if there were any other places that we would need an internal traffic study, would that $6,500 apply to a full traffic study or just that one piece?
That $6,500 is it's from Main Street, from between Washington Road and MacArthur Avenue only.
So if we wanted to include a study of any other part of town, that $6,500 would be increased?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to know that for sure. So yes, to the consent agenda. Thank you.
Care of everything, the entire roll call, Jess?
Got everything.
Okay, wonderful. So at this point then, we can open to the public for any and all questions. Now, okay, now I see hands going up. So we'll start with, is it Taylor Bernofsky? Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, Taylor Bernosky, 71 Pulaski Ave.
Hi, Taylor. You can ask your question.
Is it possible that the moderator could give me presenter rights?
Well, I think you probably have those presenter rights already.
I'm not pulled in as a panelist.
That I would have.
You're going to allow it?
I don't. We haven't declined it, so.
Okay.
Great, thank you. I appreciate it. So I first want to start off. I know there were several council members not present at the last meeting, so I'll give a really quick recap. I spoke at the last council meeting in regards to the reopening of the senior center and kind of what steps and precautions would be taken with our seniors in mind. So first, I'd like to say, Mayor Kilpatrick, I'm not sure if you checked your email or voicemail, but I emailed you at mayor@saraville.com and left a voicemail at 732-390-7007. But I haven't heard from you in about 2 weeks. But I did hear from Mr. Frankel, and he did reach out to me following the last meeting. So I appreciate you getting back to me. However, there are a few things that were still concerning, and I don't think you were completely honest about with me, or that you might not have known. So first off, after the last council meeting, I was told that in regards to the senior center reopening, we'd be walking and not running. Tables would be spaced out, there would be enhanced protocols taken. However, a day later, in private conversation with Mr. Frankel, I was told the complete opposite, and that it was not the case. I was told that there would in fact be no restrictions. There would be a full reopening with no spacing, no enhanced cleaning, because simply how could we tell people that we are restricting capacity? We are in a post-COVID world right now, and it's not the same world that we should be re-entering. In response to my other questions, I was told that the faucets were changed automatic, and they were. However, I took a trip myself down to the senior center. I was told the air vents in the air conditioning units were cleaned monthly, and that there were contactless hand sanitizing stations throughout. However, upon my own visit to the senior center, it was appalling with the thick layer of dust that could be seen blowing from the air conditioning units and upstairs, debris in the hall air conditioning units, the filthiest soap dispensers I've ever seen in my life, no automatic hand sanitizing stations. In fact, they were the same few manual hand sanitizers from pre-COVID that do not hold to the CAPITA levels. And I was told there was simply not the budget for enhanced cleaning in the senior center. For example, in exercise equipment classes, the equipment would be cleaned one time, and then it would be up to individuals to sanitize for themselves. I was also told that many of the clubs do not even have enough attendance to warrant the Great Hall. And I know that to not be true. The St. Stan's Club, Tuesday Club, and Thursdays Clubs all utilize the big hall. So based on my conversation, I'm not sure if you don't know what's going on at the Senior Center, or maybe you don't care because you don't know anyone or have a loved one there. I personally hold the Senior Center near and dear to my heart. I've been involved there since a young age, and many of those seniors I consider to be very dear friends. My question regarding the budget is that this Thursday and Tuesday clubs are given $10,000 and $5,000 respectively every year. What happened to that money when the senior center was closed over the past year and a half? Nothing against the Boy Scout project at the last meeting. I think it is great what that young man is doing from our town, and kudos to him. However, the council did not bat an eye towards the $1,000 needed for that project. I do not understand why we can't put a couple $1,000s towards enhanced cleaning and air purifiers in every room at the senior center. I agree 100% that the senior center needs to and should reopen. However, the seniors in our town are counting on you and believe that you are opening up with their health and safety in mind. And with that, I'd like to share a few pictures that I have taken just to put it in context of what I saw, which was very disturbing. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Is my screen able to be seen?
Taylor, we can see it. You are presenting, at least from my end. I can see everything you're showing.
Great. So what you can see here are the soap dispensers in the lower levels women's restroom. I don't know about you, but I would not put my hand on there to dispense soap. It is actually appalling that that's still there. The upstairs air conditioning units, thick layers of dust blowing out, not even from a virus standpoint, but what is in the air there that's blowing out. I mean, this wouldn't be acceptable in my own house. I'm not sure why it's in the senior center. Again, thick layers of dust here. The air filters in the main hall, you can see they haven't been cleaned recently. Filthy exercise mats, and I've been told that automatic hand sanitizing stations have been throughout. There is one entering the Great Hall, and if we're going to have hundreds of people gathering, touching it and just even besides that point, one is not gonna, people are not gonna wait online for hand sanitizer. It's just a little concerning that, the seniors in our town, I think they believe that, it's going to be a safe place to go to. But if we are not taking any precautions at all, what good is that? I mean, we could say now levels are good here, but we don't know what the fall is going to look like. And why not be proactive instead of being reactive? To re-enter the same situation that we were before March of 2020 it's not the same world we're entering. So I think we need to really do something here. If we're still having virtual council meetings, but we're ready to just open up and have a few hundred seniors in a meeting. I mean, I think that's more concerning, and we're concerned about having virtual council meetings that could be masked with very low attendance. So that's just what I have. I'd like to hear other comments and what, could possibly be done here.
Hi, Taylor. I just wanted to start by saying, yes, I actually did get your message. Actually, Dan Frankel, he does play my messages for me and then gets back to me. And I apologize because I do have your number here. And I did actually try to call, I think it's your cell number one time, but it probably came up as a restricted number because I was calling in from my personal home phone. And I did do a restrict on that. And I apologize that we haven't been able to touch base. But I can assure you that, first of all, I have a lot of reservations about environments and safety, especially with our seniors. I suffered with COVID myself.
Did anybody else lose connection?
No, I think it was just the mayor.
I froze for a little bit, I think. I'm good.
Yep.
I think it's just the mayor, Jess.
I agree.
You know what? I'll text her and let her know that she's frozen.
I would just like to say that Mr. Frankel is, if there's any of these reservations that Taylor has, if there's anything that can be done.
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me now?
No,
Yes.
You were.
Yeah, just like many other people in town, I have Optimum, and I go through the same type of issues. So that's what happened here. I just happened to lose my internet connection for a second. But Taylor, absolutely 110%. Those images and those pictures are startling. They're unacceptable, and we cannot allow our seniors to go into environments that look like that. The air conditioning and so forth, that is just appalling and disgusting. You will not hear anything other than that from me. We can do better. We should do better. And if that's the way that building looks, I was hesitant to reopen any of our buildings because even though the pandemic we were having a change, I didn't know if we were ready yet. And that shows me that we do need to do better. I want all of our seniors back. I want all of our buildings safe. That does not look safe to me. And what can we do to address that, Dan?
I will speak to our supervisor of buildings and grounds first thing in the morning. I was told before that things such as changing the filters were done on a more routine basis. I will check on that. I think you all know from air conditioning, we only have one central unit that really the great hall or parts of the first floor. The others are window units. The window units need to be, filters need to be taken out, cleaned and washed on a monthly basis. As far as the automatic hand sanitizers are concerned, I was told that they're throughout the building. If Taylor's saying they're not, we'll make sure that we have at least a couple on each floor, and at least one where a lot of people congregate, which would be inside the Great Hall. And I'll get on it with the warehouse for the supervisor for the buildings and grounds tomorrow morning.
And how do our ladies over at the senior center,
Hello? Are we still on, or is Vicky frozen?
I think it's Vicky.
Okay. Taylor, we'll have Mr. Frankel look into all of your things that you have found in the slide you had presented. Thank you for the information you had presented. Would we be able to move on to them? Is there anything else, Taylor, or?
Well, I know we touched on the cleanliness factor, but just, enhanced cleaning, and I know it's an old AC unit that like the main hall with the central air, it's older. Why aren't there like air purifying, like those air purifying, towers on each corner just to, make the air cleaner in the room if we have a dated system? I mean,
those are definitely things that Mr. Frankel will look into. He'll definitely speak to our director of our senior center.
The tables are going to be spaced. I want to make sure, because the minutes from last meeting are going to say that there's spacing going on, but there's not going to be spacing, and we're dealing with, older people who we could say, numbers are good, everybody's vaccinated, or we're recommending that they're vaccinated, but we're dealing with elderly people that a vaccination might not be everything to them, and you have a variant, and then you're going to say, oh darn, we should have done better, but it's too late now. Oh well. It's just really.
I understand your concern, and everyone on the council, including Mayor Kilpatrick, do as well. But we will look into it. We'll have Mr. Frankel look into it and work with our director of our senior center to see if there's anything we can do to enhance what we have already in place.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I think I'm back again, guys. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, there you are. Okay, yep.
Yes.
Sorry, Vicky. Go ahead.
And Taylor, I will, depending on how long this meeting goes, I will reach out to you either tonight or early tomorrow morning as well. So that way we can at least talk as well. I apologize for that little delay there. But thank you. I appreciate the pictures and you bringing that even more to our attention. And we're gonna do what we can to make it right. Anyone else from the public? I did see a few hands up a moment ago. Let me go back in and let Ruth Ann Mahoney.
Okay, good evening.
Hi, Ruth. Can you just give your name officially and address for me?
Ruth Ann Mahoney, 2 Gerard Place, Parlin, New Jersey.
Thanks, Ruth.
Once again, I'm going to bug you all about Ernston Road. I haven't heard from anyone, and I did leave my number. And I had a resident contact me this week with a video because the trucks are engine braking also. And she sent me a video of a bottle of water shaking from the engine braking. And also she's also having parts of her wall come loose. So this is becoming a bigger problem than originally that I originally spoke about. The dump trucks are horrendous. They come in droves and they come down. I don't have radar or anything, but they are obviously going much faster than 35 miles per hour. Once again, we have the pedestrian crossing there, which nothing's been done. And I waited till after COVID. I tried to be patient before I started again. But I really would appreciate a call, and somehow this has been going on now for years. I've been doing this for at least 2, not a little bit more. And I think serious consideration needs to be made about this. It's worse, and it's going to get worse because of the warehouses. So I would appreciate some feedback at some point, because my residents are also getting very upset. Thank you.
Thanks, Ruth. Did you have, I think Vince, you were the one that reached out to.
I have your name and your number here. The folks at the Borough Hall, they passed it on to me. I want to apologize for not getting in touch with you, Ms. Mahoney, but I want to set something up. I've got a couple of nights this week that you and I can get together and we could talk through this. I was thinking about tomorrow. So I will call you, if this doesn't end too late, I'll call you after this or tomorrow, and we'll make some time for each other.
Thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ruth Ann.
Thank you.
Let's see, Art Rittenhouse. Hi, Art.
Good evening, everybody. Arthur Rittenhouse, 33 Delacat Lane, Sayreville. A whole bunch of things tonight to talk about. One on the senior center, I agree with Taylor. What I don't understand is that we've had that building all this time that work could have been done on it. I know Buildings and Grounds have probably changed the filters and everything, and I'm not sure that's their job to do the cleaning of the building. They're not responsible for the hand sanitizers, for the in-window air conditioning. I thought that was the custodial staff. I guess they're part of Buildings and Grounds, but I just don't understand. Reduced hours over this whole time could have been used, because I talked to the seniors, and everyone that I've talked to, they can't wait to get back. They're looking to get back, and we really can't send them into a building that's that has that potential. The trucks. Let me with Ruth Ann on that. Today I was coming down Main Street. It's not only the dump trucks, which are horrendous, but Woodbridge Township sends all their garbage trucks down Main Street going to Edgeboro. I was behind one today from the senior center, and I maintained 35, and before I got down to Bainhurst, he had disappeared. So obviously he was doing more than 35, because I was behind him doing that. So it's and the trucks are only going to get worse, but the dump trucks especially are definitely not doing 35. They're doing much more, and they're coming from all directions. Ernston Road, Main Street. It is getting horrendous as far as that goes. My normal question is probably for Mr. Dupont. Have we heard anything on the court case with Fulton's Landing?
Hi, Mr. Rittenhouse.
Yes.
Good evening. Haven't heard from you in a while.
No, see, aren't you lucky?
No, I have no problem hearing from you. I did speak to counsel for Fulton Landing a month ago. Today's June. Yeah, beginning of end of April, beginning of May. Said he was in discussions with the court and the prosecutor's office to schedule something. I haven't heard anything. And it hasn't been scheduled as far as I know.
Okay, I would appreciate if you let me know when that is.
Okay.
Okay, Mayor, I've had some questions from quite a few people regarding the Board of Education meeting last week where you had a Rice notice and you wanted things discussed at the meeting, which is your right and which is good. But
Yep.
the questions they had, they were concerned that there might be a conflict of interest between you being mayor and you being an SEA officer and what was happening. As far as I've told people, as far as you being mayor and you being a teacher, there's no conflict there at all. That shouldn't be a conflict. It never has been. You were on the council.
Right.
But there were questions that they felt they just weren't sure what was going on. And I said I would ask the question and I'll throw it onto yours. And then other than that, I'm done for the evening. Everybody have a happy 4th of July.
Mayor, if I might, I know I can interject. I'm not quite sure I see any conflict whatsoever. I don't think there's an alleged conflict. I know that the matter is the mayor's prerogative to speak on, but those 3 hats that you're mentioning, that she's carried those 3 hats for quite some time. I don't see any conflict whatsoever. Mayor, if you want to add to that, but from my perspective, I don't see any conflict whatsoever on that.
Thank you for that, Mr. Dupont. Yeah, I've actually held that title for 10 years now. I guess in a lot of ways, I guess it's similar to, I believe, our police chief, and I meant to.
I believe Vicky froze again.
Yeah. So,
oh, there you go, Vicky.
Mayor, I know
Oh,
that.
thanks.
Mayor, you froze again. But again, I just repeated it.
Yeah, no, I've held that position now for 10 years approximately. And I know that even prior to becoming the council that was discussed as far as was there a conflict, there's not. But Mr. Rittenhouse, I'm glad that you mentioned it. So I just want to get a little confirmation from you. So the individuals that were questioning, what were they questioning? What their concern was?
Am I still on?
Yes, you're still on.
Okay. I wasn't sure by my looking at my computer and my Optimum.
Yeah.
I guess they were concerned because from what they said to me was listing the things that were listed by Dr. Lobby, and was there a conflict, and how do you handle the differences between the Board of Ed and being the mayor and things with the school?
So their question is in reference to my union position as the vice president of the Sarah.
Well, and more of and how do you deal with when there were I don't want to say charges, different items that were listed. Because I don't like the word charges.
Oh yeah, no, I understand.
If I may, Mayor, again, this isn't the arena for any discussions on whatever occurred to the Board of Education. If the question was with respect to conflicts, I've voiced an opinion that, you've held those roles for many years. There hasn't been a conflict whatsoever.
Right.
And I'm not recommending that you speak in this arena regarding whatever was the subject of whatever occurred at the Board of Education. That's not for tonight's discussion. But as to any conflicts, it's clear, in my opinion, that you do not have a conflict.
Right, thank you. I wasn't going to discuss what occurred at the Board of Education meeting, other than the fact that, Mr. Rittenhouse, you are correct in stating that I asked that hearing be held in public with the ability for the public to hear exactly what the accusations were so that they could understand all of the information and also hear from me that didn't necessarily take place. So I can understand the reason for the question. My question was just in reference to getting clarification from Mr. Rittenhouse's perspective. What was the comment or the question from the individuals that you are bringing forward? I don't understand.
I'm not, I would recommend if they have it that they should call in. I mean, that's,
Yeah, that would probably be a good thing.
I sat on both seats. I was on the,
Yeah.
I was also on the Board of Ed for 10 years, so I understand both sides.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that is true. I did forget that, Art, that you were on the BOE for a while. So yeah, please have them call in if necessary. So. Or they
can also reach out to me and I
10,
can answer
10 years on the Board of Ed, so I understand.
Thanks, Mr. Rittenhouse. Thanks, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Art.
Have
Anything
a good Fourth.
else, Art? Bye.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, do I have any other participants from the public wishing to speak? You can just raise your hand, *9. I don't see any on my end. Jess, do you see any on yours?
No.
Okay, so at this point, I'll entertain a motion to close the public.
I make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
Second.
Since Vicky she's frozen again, I would like to say all in favor of closing the public portion.
Aye.
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 I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Vicky, are you back, Vicky, or are you still
I
frozen?
think I'm back. I have actually,
Okay.
yeah, I'm back here. I don't know why.
I hope you don't mind me jumping in when you get
No,
frozen.
I appreciate it.
I see your face get frozen. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's very bizarre because I'm looking at my signal strength, which is very strong, and then every so often it doesn't even change the signal strength. I just it comes up as a lost connection, and then it reboots. So
I know how you feel from
I know
living in
you
the same
do.
neighborhood. So it's nothing new in my eyes with Optimum.
absolutely. So I think people forget sometimes when they pose questions. What are we doing about Optimum? Trust us, we fight nonstop. because-
We all have your pain. We all feel your pain with Optimum.
Yeah, we're living it right now.
Yeah.
At this point, I do believe that we have closed the public and we've also moved forward with the adjournment. So now we're going to move into the agenda session of our meeting, and we will once again rise for a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Statement of publication again, Jess?
Take notice that this agenda session meeting of the mayor and council being held on this 28th day of June 2021 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Conti,
Here.
Delina,
Present.
Enriquez,
Here.
Mar,
Here.
Novak,
Here.
Roberts,
Here.
and our professionals, the business administrator,
Present.
CFO,
Here.
engineer,
Here.
attorney.
Here.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Jess. We're going to move right into communication and committee reports. We'll start with admin and finance, and that is Councilwoman Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. So I've got minutes and departmental reports for filing and receiving, the municipal clerk's report for May, and the CFO's investment activity for May.
Second.
Then applications for bingo. We have the Sayreville Touchdown Club and the Sayreville Junior Bombers for approval.
Second.
Thank you. And application for a social affair for beer and wine at the Irish Festival on September 25th, Raritan Bay Water Park for approval.
Second.
Thank you. And just Thank you, Mayor and Council President Delina. I just wanted to say I had a lovely vacation and I did get a chance to watch the council video and congratulate Sean Wright for his presentation on Kaepernick Park proposal. That sounds like something that will be beneficial for the park and the town. Also, Claire, the grant writer, is doing such a great job. Good job at getting, proposing more grants that are the non-matching grants that we all love, as you said, Mayor. I did want to talk about Council President Delina. You had suggested, based on comments from the last meeting, about the raise in some of the business fees.
That is correct. I spoke with members of the council, and we would like to do what the people of the town would like to do for the small businesses, and amend the ordinance that we currently have in place and push off the raises of the business licenses for our small businesses until 2022.
And I would likely agree with you. However, I have a couple of concerns with that. Without having actual businesses coming forward to, identify that this is a problem for them, I really have a hard time with someone saying in general that there are businesses. I'm sure there are. I'd like to hear from them first before we make any changes. And the same was true for, and this is one of the challenges I had. One of the comments was, did I realize that some of the businesses were veteran owned? And I make that assumption, but when I went to follow up to find out, and I reached out to some of my veteran contacts to find out if we have a list of veteran owned businesses, that was also very challenging. So what I'd like to do is for us to be able to do the appropriate outreach, first work with our veterans to see if we can list, and if it would be appropriate to do so, to list our veteran-owned businesses so that we could have the appropriate outreach in that direction, as well as have some outreach to businesses who are actually being affected, because besides for the business licensing fee, if they really are being challenged, maybe there is something more or better that we can do to help those businesses. So before jumping in and saying we'll take that approach, I'd like to take a little time to do a little more research. And that's just me. I work with data all day. So these are the kinds of questions that are just natural for me to ask.
I understand that. I've reached out to Kirk Mick from our construction office to see, what the impact would be on us. And he said there would not be any negative impact on the borough. I've spoken to Mr. Frankel on that as well to see if there would be a negative impact as well. And I would like to move forward with holding up or amending the ordinance that we currently have in place that we passed last week, due to the concerns of our residents and of our small businesses. So if I would like to make that motion right now to move forward and amend the ordinance to post or to move the date from 2021 to 2022 for the small business licenses. If I can have a second on that, that would be wonderful.
Councilman Delina, it's Jessica. Just a quick question. That fee is for 2022 that they're paying at the end of this year.
Okay,
so
then
are
I would
you
like
looking
to,
into?
yeah, we would like to move that to the next year then.
So you're looking to have it in effect for the year 2023 then?
That is correct.
Okay, just so I understand.
Yeah, I would like to look out for our small businesses. I know we have had some that have been impacted, as Mr. Robinson had stated in at our last meeting, that you weren't at, Miss Councilwoman Roberts, but and Mr. Robinson is a current I'm assuming a frequent customer at these businesses, and they've reached out to him. There's been plenty of times Mr. Robinson and I have spoken. And he's always out there trying to help these small businesses. And I think this is the best move for the borough and the council to move forward with. And I've reached out to multiple people, as stated, Mr. Frankel and Mr. Mick, and I think this would benefit our businesses as well. I mean, I understand it's a small fee, but at the
I'm
same
not-
time, this is something that would
against
benefit
it.
our small
I'm saying
businesses.
that- I'm not saying that I'm against it. I'm saying that with it brought up, and I was absent at the last meeting, I would like just a little time and opportunity to research it further. No one's reached out to me directly, and some of the other outreach just didn't seem to pan out. So it's call me doubting Thomas. That is just one of my verification steps I would like to take before finalizing moving forward.
I understand that, but I would like to move forward with the motion, to amend it. So if I could have a second on what I was saying, please, can someone give me a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mary. Can we have a roll call vote, Jessica?
I may add, Councilman Delina, Mr. Mick had stated that there hasn't been any increases since 2008, and I suggest moving forward that we use a scale moving forward so that there's no surprises and that it's not put on one administration or being pushed off to another administration, and that we have more of a wide lens approach looking down the line.
Yeah, this is something we can do maybe moving forward for 2023, Councilwoman Mar. Thank you. So we have a second. Jessica, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilpersons Delina,
Yes.
Conti,
I'm a yes.
Enriquez,
Yes, with comment. I do understand Councilwoman Roberts' concerns, but the amount of money here we're talking about is not a significant amount, so putting it off extra year is not really going to be detrimental to our town, so I vote yes.
Mar,
Yes, with comment. I also reached out to Mr. Mick, who relayed that it wasn't that large of a difference and that we could sustain holding off.
Novak,
I'm a yes. I'd just like to say, although it's not a big difference to our budget, to every small business, every single dollar counts. So I'm really in favor of, just helping them out a little bit by pushing this off. Thank you, Kevin, for doing all the investigation.
Thank you, Mary.
Robert.
So the vote today, is that to vote for the ordinance to be rescinded or for a new ordinance to be reinstituted and another public comment session? I just want to be clear on what we're voting for right now.
Well, they're looking to amend it, correct, to put it back to the original amount?
Right, the motion was to amend the ordinance to remove the fees for the businesses, and that those fees, it's my understanding, are not to begin until 2023.
So at the next council meeting, will there be a public and then a formal vote? Is this just the introduction so that there will be a public meeting?
No, it's going to have to be, the ordinance is going to have to be revised. And then there will have to be an introduction and a passage on it.
Okay, so I think I am completely on board with Councilman Delina. That gives me the appropriate amount of time to just do a little background research. And I am absolutely comfortable. I don't think it is a big ask to roll that back. Again, the dollar amount, and Councilwoman Mayer's idea to have a scale moving forward, I think is absolutely excellent and has great foresight. So I am perfectly happy to vote yes on that so that we can have all of our information and really make it a much better ordinance moving forward.
Mike, this is Mary Novak. I have a question. I believe the way the ordinance was written, it had a starting date. Can we not just amend the ordinance, leave the ordinance as is, but just amend the day that it's going to start?
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. But it's my understanding that from Kevin's motion or Councilman Delina's motion that he wants it to start on 2023.
Yeah,
right.
because we don't have to.
Would that be a significant change to the ordinance or just a slight? That's,
No.
I'm with you, Mayor. I was just curious if it has to be a complete.
That's substantial. It's a year, so you are gonna have to amend it to include that.
Yeah,
Mayor,
I wasn't,
if I may.
didn't have to go, I wasn't saying we didn't have to go to first and second reading again. I was just saying we don't have to go through the process of rewriting the whole thing. The new
Correct.
one could just be produced with just a date change.
Correct. That's correct. You're right, Mayor.
Yeah.
Jess, did you want to add something? Was there a question you had there?
Yes, Mike, that's actually two ordinances that we have to amend because that was in two sections of our code. And also the fees will start to be collected at the end of 2022 for 2023. I just want to make you guys aware of that.
Okay. We'll work on that tomorrow, Jess.
Okay.
Whatever current date is on the ordinance, just move it off a year.
I think that's what Council President Delina was saying. Whatever the current, whatever you approved initially would be changed to that 1 year, correct?
That's correct.
Yes. Wonderful. Without any more discussion on that, I think we're good to move forward. And I would like to just say thank you to the council. This was a conversation, obviously, at the last meeting. I put my comments in as well, where I felt that last meeting I was really hoping it would be changed even.
Mayor Kilpatrick froze again. We all heard her statements last time. If you listened to the previous meeting, that she was for this. As a council president, I wanted to reach out to the individuals who would make the decisions, financially and see if we were in the correct spot to do so. And after speaking to them and with some council members, we have come to a consensus. So thank you for that. Thank you, Mayor Kilpatrick, as well.
Very good. I hope I'm back again, but I might not be. If
You are, we hear you.
Good, thank you. You said exactly what I was saying, so I appreciate it. Without anything left to add, unless Councilwoman Roberts has something else to add, we can move on to planning and zoning. Councilwoman Roberts was at the end.
I just want to say happy 4th to everyone, and thank you, Mayor.
You're very welcome, and welcome back. Planning and zoning, Councilwoman Marr, please.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor. I'd like to move the following minutes and reports to be received and filed. Construction officials report for the month of May 2021.
Is there a second?
Report.
Second.
Thank you.
Fire prevention report for the month of May 2021.
Second.
Zoning and code enforcement report for the month of May 2021.
Second.
Planning board minutes of May 19th, 2021.
Second.
I also have a notice of public hearing held before the Township of East Brunswick Council on June 28th, 2021 regarding ordinance 21-16 cannabis.
Second.
Okay, thank you. And other than that, I have two things that I'd like to mention. So first things first, I'd like to thank Phil and our parks guys for helping always to clean up Kennedy Park, and they just laid new mulch and it looks really nice. And breaking news that our social media director shared was that we're getting 2 new volleyball courts in Kennedy Park. So that's really exciting. And then I'm also excited to see that our basketball courts were on today's consent agenda as well. Miss Bailey met me down the park last month and was pleasantly surprised at how nice it looked. And I look forward to doing maybe quarterly planting next season with that Cerebral Cares group and anyone else that's interested. I'd like to thank Assemblywoman Lopez for setting us up with NJ Feeds and Soup Kitchen 411 starting tomorrow. We're giving away 400 meals per week, 200 meals per day to our residents from various local restaurants who submitted an application to get some extra COVID help. So tomorrow at the Senior Center at 4, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Senior Center, we will be handing out 200 free meals to our residents, and our local restaurants will receive $10 from each meal from our NJ Feeds and Soup Kitchen programs. So I just really want to thank Assemblywoman Lopez and everyone that has come together to make this happen. We were pushing the due date. It expired July 31st, and we just got in. They were on a standstill with approving applications. And I just want to say thank you to the restaurants that did stick with the process. It wasn't easy, but we ended up with 3 restaurants in town that are going to get that extra aid. So I'm excited for them. We are looking for volunteers to help distribute the meals if anyone's interested, any local groups, any children's groups, any sports organizations, whoever needs service hours, 3:45 on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Senior Center. We should be done by 4:30. And that's it, Mayor. Progress.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Mar.
Question?
Yes.
Mayor, may I ask a question? Are all of these 200 meals going to be picked up at the senior center? Are you delivering some to any homebound people, or is it just pickup?
No, it's pickup only.
And do you have a list of people that are going to come? How are you contacting the people to let them know?
So our social media director sent out advertisements today, and our senior center director also has an email list. And I was told that 200 meals should be given out very quickly. First come, first serve.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councilwoman Mar. Ironically enough, I just happened to get an alert on my email that the borough.
Yes, a borough blast was just sent out.
Exactly. And I really thank Yvonne Lopez for her efforts with this, because she's really the woman behind all of this as well. So thank you. We're going to move on to public safety. That's going to bring us to Councilman Conti.
Thanks, Mayor. So I would like to, I'm so happy to hear that Councilwoman Mar about that program. I think it's great. I love to be a part of those things. So I know you're asking for volunteers. So hopefully we get a bunch of people to help out and volunteer. It's such a great program. I helped out at the police station when we were doing that at the beginning of COVID, and just the line of people that you're there to help and how appreciative they are. It's just a great program. So I'm glad you put that together. So thank you. So I would like to move the following minutes and reports be received and filed. Municipal court report for the month of May 2021, Board of Health Registrar and County reports for the month of May 2021, and Police Department report for the months of April and May 2021.
Second.
Thank you. All right, and we got a coin toss request for Washington and Ernston Road, head over heels on July 24th and 25th, 2021 from 10 to 2.
No objections. It looks like that's an okay.
All right, good. Yeah, I think those those groups, they need all that they can get. So I'm glad they're getting out there and doing that, and people are helping them out. I love to see that. So it's real nice. I'm glad we're able to make it happen for people. So just a couple of things. So I know we talked about it already, about the traffic study. I know Sergeant Braille is going to work with Jay Cornell about doing our own, and we'll see where that leads to, see if it warrants going further with the full-fledged traffic study that the county would require. I bet it will. From the sounds of it, it sounds like it's going to be a no-brainer. But I'm glad Sergeant Braille is able to help out with that and get us started with his guys doing a traffic study. So I'm looking forward to see the outcome of that when it comes around. He also did speak with the shift supervisors about Main Street Extension and remaining vigilant over there and watching out for what's happening with the drag racing episodes and the speeding down there. So he's raising awareness with his shift supervisors to ensure that they're out there and they're looking out for those events. So I'm sure that he'll be out there doing his thing and hopefully deterring people from being reckless. And lastly, I did also speak with Sergeant Braille again about Betty.
I know, Mayor, you had mentioned that, and he said, he told me that Lieutenant Novak has been in touch with her quite a bit. And then they've been talking amongst themselves about, what we could do, what other measures they could do. He didn't necessarily think the speed limit adjustment was going to work itself out, but they were talking about other measures to see what else could be done. So the conversation is ongoing. I know Sergeant Braille is going to reach out specifically as well, in addition to Lieutenant Novak, to talk about it some more. So, once he does that, I'll get some reports from him on, what ideas they came up with and what they're doing. So I'll keep you posted about that, but I just want to let you know that they've been talking, and I'll continue the conversation until they can figure something out. From me, that's it for tonight. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Conti. We're going to move through to Recreation. Councilman Enriquez.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following minutes reports be received and filed. Recreation Department report for the month of May 2021.
Second.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, and I just got two quick reminders. We have Saturday, July 17th, the Moonlight Drive-In movie, The Mighty Ducks. Register at Sayville.com. There's still open spots for that. And also, I brought up briefly last meeting on Monday, July 26th. We're going to have a Sayville Summer Play Day from 5 to 8. It's at the Borough Hall Park. We'll have inflatable slides, obstacle course, carnival games, arts and crafts, a DJ. It's going to be a good time. And again, that's on a Monday, July 26th. After that, progress, Mayor.
Mayor, may I? I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, Councilman Enriquez, you and the new director, I'm really excited about this July 26th. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and it's just giving us, a little more. I'm glad that, I know everybody's trying to work real quick on this because we just got all of these things lifted, but really thank you for the great work. The parents are really looking forward to bringing their children to that.
Thank you, Councilman Novak.
I second that, Damon. That Summer Play Day, I've been hearing so many people are excited about it. That was really just a smart and fun thing to put together. Good work.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to Public Works, Council President Delina.
Can I go? I know I've been talking a lot. You skipped right over me, Mayor. I've been talking too much.
No, that's my apologies. Water and Sewer first, please, and Environmental, Councilwoman Novak. Thank you.
Yes, I'd like to, the minutes and departmental reports is listed under the agenda A, 1 and 2 be received and filed.
Second.
Thank you. Other than that, progress, Mayor.
Thank you. And congratulations again. I know I got to see you during the week, but congratulations on being a grandma one more time.
Oh, thank you so much. Having her home is one of the best thing that's happened since COVID started.
Oh, I'm sure. We'll enjoy her. We're going to move on now to Public Works again with Council President Delina.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the following minutes and departmental reports be received and filed. A1.
Second.
I would also like to welcome back Councilwoman Roberts. I'm glad to hear you had a great vacation. Councilman Enriquez and I are currently on vacation as well. We are both in the Outer Banks on separate sides of the Outer Banks, but we are both here enjoying this great weather that we're having. And I know it's a little hot where we are up in New Jersey, but I hope everyone's enjoying the weather. And I know Councilman Enriquez and our new Director of Recreation, Brian, are doing a fantastic job, especially with this event upcoming at the end of July. And I'm excited for it. I would just like to say progress.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
sorry. One more thing. I would just like to say that our guys in Public Works are also doing a fantastic job. As Councilwoman Marr has said, Phil and his team are doing a great job, as are George and his team too. The two of them were recently split into a new position as superintendents, and I know they're doing a fantastic job guiding their their constituents and helping out the borough in a great way. Other than that, progress.
Thank you very much and enjoy your vacation,
Hey.
both.
I hate to bother you. Can I ask Councilman Delina, although I don't know whether I should be asking you, Kevin, or Dan, or maybe even Denise. I was wondering what's happening with the bonding. Last year, Public Works did not get one single piece of equipment. Every single thing was put off. We approved this budget back in March, and we haven't bonded for the vehicles, and we also have not bonded for any road projects. And we only have one meeting in July and one meeting in August. If we don't get moving on this, there will be no roads done next year, because whatever we bond for this year for those roads is going to actually take place next year. So I was wondering, where are we on that, Kev? Have you been talking to Denise?
I have not heard anything, Councilwoman Novak, but Denise, is there any way we can push forward with this to ensure that we're in a good position?
If I may interject, Councilman Roberts was trying to have a meeting of her committee so they could recommend with myself and with Denise. She's actually spoke today about setting something up for maybe Thursday. So the people who are on that committee I know are Councilman Roberts, Councilwoman Novak, and I believe Councilman Conti. So if you could check your schedules, Thursday would be a good day to meet. If it's okay with you, we'll check it and then we'll confirm everything for tomorrow.
I have no problem with having a meeting, but this is all that was already approved in the budget. So what are we meeting on? We going to re-go over the budget that we already approved?
You're going to probably meet on what you want to bond.
But didn't we already agree on that? We have a capital budget.
Then you will make your recommendation to move forward.
I mean, we made the recommendations when we approved the budget.
So the question is do we need to have a meeting then of that committee if it's already been approved via the budget in order to push that bonding forward, if that's what I'm understanding, correct, Councilwoman Novak?
Yes, that's what I was asking. I mean, I have no problem having a meeting. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff we have to discuss, but most of this stuff was all gone over at the budget meetings, and the budget was approved. So I don't know. But okay.
I can add, while we're on the conversation of roads, I was just on our website, the roads to be paved in 2021 on our website versus the list of roads that are waiting to be paved over the next 10 years differs greatly. So I'm curious as to why they differ so much when people that are at the top of the list, Stanford, Junker, Bernardine, Cross, are now not even listed on our website on the roads department.
Last year we made a decision on what streets, so I don't know why it wouldn't be there. I don't think Cross is there because, again, Cross is not a road. We don't own it.
But on the 2020, maybe Jay can add comment on the 2020 road evaluation that's posted on our website. Next streets to be done, say Stanford, Junker, Bernardine, Cross, Val, Mason, and that does not match what we have on our website.
Councilwoman, that is correct. Typically what happens each year when the borough selects the roads is they will look at the evaluation. And I think that's what you're referring to that has Stanford and Junker. That is based on the rating. What happens is we look at the list where you have the rating and we all speak with the Public Works Department. They're the ones responsible for maintaining the roadways. So they typically make recommendations for what they think are the worst roads. So we'll go through and we'll look at, let's say, the top 10 or 20 on the evaluation list, and also the top 10 that the Public Works Department recommends. We will prepare cost estimates And through the Public Works Department last year, the recommendations were made. So even though some based on evaluations were not selected, it was the recommendation of the roadways and the complaints to get that they be moved in front of the roads based on the evaluation.
Okay, I think that's unfair to people that are waiting years on a list. However, I do understand, you know, inserting one or two that are in dire need of repair, but I don't think we should skip or forget about the ones that have been waiting patiently all these years.
Road anymore.
Those recommendations, Jay, after they go through to the I understand where Councilwoman Marr is coming from. I mean, I understand those ratings have been in place for many, many, many years, but I also, one of the first 2 years I was elected as a council person, I went on the road evaluation tour with yourself and then Director of Public Works, Bernie Bailey, to watch and see how the evaluations are done and how those changes get made. Why wouldn't a road that was rated on the top of the list end up now not being one of the roads that was put forward for repaving? Because it's a problem, everyone gets upset about it. I will say, I recommend that anyone that as a council person wants to understand how those rated roads end up coming in underneath another road, go on that road evaluation. A full day. I actually started to get quite a lesson on the different types of breakdowns of roads, everything from alligator cracking and other types of terminology. I learned about monolithic curbing that day too. Because sometimes roads that weren't rated at the top level have deteriorated so dramatically, they end up being pushed up based on what the road supervisors and stuff say. So I understand your question. After the road evaluations are done, then those roads again are priced out according to what our engineers see as potential dollars for each. That plays into it. But then it comes to the council before any of those are approved, correct?
Typically, your Public Works Director would make recommendations as to which roads were entered into the bond ordinance. And then, yes, the council would have an opportunity to review that and vote on the bond ordinance.
Right. So that are up there now were actually approved by the council after all of those other processes went forward. And that's the way it goes every single year. And I feel like that is also when our council needs to take a look at those roads that are being recommended, compare it to the road ratings that you're seeing, Councilwoman Marr, and then ask those questions at that point. But I'm telling you, it's eye-opening when you take those take that tour and that travel to really look at what kind of work needs to be done. And the sheer cost of roads, macadam and engineering, is exorbitant. I do see a comment here in reference to Cross Avenue, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but Jay, would you give a little insight regarding Cross Avenue? The recommendation from the panelist is Cross is a road. It's very heavily traveled, included by the fire department down the street. If nobody wants to fix it, then maybe they should shut it down. The residents also see the borough plow it and patch it. Why not just fix it? So that is a comment in there. So the residents' recommendation is if no one wants to fix it, then we should shut it down. But there's a lot more involved in that. So I can leave that either to Jay or to Councilwoman Novak to speak on, because Cross Avenue is a road that has quite a history.
If I might, Cross Avenue was previously a private roadway on the National Lead property. As part of your COA settlement, that road has been turned over to the borough for maintenance responsibilities and future dedication. There is a development application that is proposed that's going to go through and call for the reconstruction of Cross Avenue along that portion of the property. And I'll defer to Mr. DuPont, but there's also some litigation concerning that project that also has to go through and deal with the conditions and the maintenance of Cross Avenue. So I don't know, because it's unsettled litigation, I would defer to Mr. DuPont as to how much we can talk about that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cornell. That's what I had remembered. And Mr. Dupont, at this point, because it is part of, you're welcome. Fred, sorry, Fred, I see that it was you up there. You're welcome, Fred. Mr. Dupont, are we at a point now with the litigation specifically relating to that road to be able to discuss, or is that something that we have to hold off on?
No, I would hold off on that, Mayor. We're almost there.
Okay, very good. So, Fred, to answer your question, I'm telling you, that road has been the bane of my existence since being on the council. And I know, Councilwoman Novak, you've been here a heck of a lot longer. It is a road that we all believe needs to be fixed, repaired, and made whole again, not wholly like it is. But there was a back and forth for a lot of years regarding who owns it, who doesn't, who's responsible for it, and who's going to incur a very, very large cost to do the engineering of that road in order to get it up to where it is. So we're working on it, and hopefully we'll be hearing more on that later. Mary, did you want to add?
No, I was just going to say, my recollection was this: they were going to, once they made the road, they were going to turn it over to us, just like in any development. The developer's responsible for putting in the road, and then after that, the town takes it up, the responsibility of taking it over. Because right now, it's not only in terrible shape, but part of it runs through the parking lot of Costa Verde. The entire thing be, put in its proper place, and whatever Jay is much better at that than me, and all of the different layers that should be under that road, which were never done because it was basically a private driveway to the Hercules property. So it was never really constructed as a road.
Yeah, this road could have a novel written about its history. Is how far back that road goes, but we're getting closer to a remedy on that through litigation, and you'll hear more about Cross Avenue. So thank you very much for that. Councilman Delina, was that the end of your committee report?
Yes, progress.
Wonderful. So I will be very brief with my comments under my report then at this point. I do have, I've only been out of, we've only had school vacation now for about a week, and I feel like I've been out of the house nonstop ever since. So first, I had the opportunity, the real honor, to actually go over to our Parlin Post Office on Washington Road, meet with the Postmaster General there, and actually be part of an award ceremony where 3 of our postal employees actually did the most remarkable, heroic act that I honestly have seen in such a long lifted a Buick off of one of our customers at the post office to save her life. Hopefully I didn't lose my connection. Did I lose my connection again?
No, you said 3 people lifted up a car off a person?
Yeah, yeah, I just had my internet signal went down. Lifted off a car. This is something you see in a movie. They literally, 3 of our postal employees and 2 other individuals came to this woman's aid. She got pinned underneath the vehicle. They lifted up the vehicle and saved her life. This happened actually in January. So I was there to present them with an award with the Postmaster General, but to see these 3 men who literally were still filling their truck, getting ready to go to work while we were preparing to give them this unbelievable award. It was really just an unbelievable story. What I was to bring those 3 gentlemen into our council chamber and to be able to provide them with an award to let them know how much we appreciate their heroic efforts. So if nobody objects to that, I will reach out to Jess, give those names over to you, and I would like to give them some type of an award or a proclamation on behalf of the mayor and council. It was truly
Great idea.
Truly remarkable. Shortly after that, a couple of hours later, I left the post office and I went to a major reopening on Canal Street. For those that didn't know, Mary, you know, because you were there. Our MCUA pump station on Canal Street, which was completely obliterated during Hurricane Sandy, is officially reopened now. This is no simple thing. I know most of you are sitting there saying, what, really? We're celebrating a pump station? This pump station services almost 800,000 people, not just our Saraville residents. The damage that that pump station took on during Hurricane Sandy, it was completely and utterly destroyed. The acts of the people that were working there as employees that particular day and beyond, they were true heroes as well. The work it took in order to get that pump station completely rebuilt from start to finish was equally heroic. You had dive teams. One of the things, Mary, I know you were listening to the stories with me while I was there. One of the most remarkable stories was listening to the fact that they had several divers that had to go down, I think it was close to 40 feet or more in complete and utter blackness of raw sewage in order to try to fit grates and to actually make that operation to do. I would be remiss if I didn't mention just a few people to say thank you to, and that is Joe Cryan, our MCUA Executive Director, John F. Wiley, our MCUA Chairman, Ron Rios, obviously our County Commissioner Director, Joaquin Gonzalez, our MCUA Chief Engineer, David Zimmerman, Executive Director of the NJI Bank, Rolly Acosta, President of NE Remsco, Dan Tanzi, the former MCU Chief Engineer who was there during Hurricane Sandy, William Castle, owner of Castle Group, Michael Samuel of R3M Engineering, and Bill Richardson, our Raritan Valve, from Raritan Valve Company. These men and many, many women as well were just instrumental in making sure that that pump station could get operational and up and running again. So that was huge. We often just don't think about what happens when we turn the faucet on or what happens when we flush that toilet. And that pump station is really the brains of that whole operation. I also want to say thank you to the owners of All for Less, which is a brand new store that opened up in the Parlin Plaza. I was invited to go to their grand opening over the weekend as well. So as the pandemic is starting to change direction, it's nice to see that here in Saraville. We've had, actually, I've been a part of, this is, I believe, my 4th reopening now during the pandemic for either a store or a restaurant. So let's hope that continues, and let's hope the businesses that are here continue to keep their doors open. Last 2 things are the St. Stan's Carnival was an absolute hit. I heard the first 2 nights, it was just packed and packed and packed with people. And that is, once again, a sign of the times that things are hopefully getting better and back to normal, or a new normal. And last but not least, this weekend as well, I also attended a memorial service for one of our younger residents that we did lose to COVID, Kristen Ambrosia Brain. And I wanted to say it was so nice to celebrate her life there with so many of her friends and family. So it's definitely been a very busy week and a half for me. And I hope that we can continue to celebrate more events as the summer continues and we all begin to get back to our new normal. That takes care of my report. We're going to move over to the business administrator's report at this time. Mr. Frankel.
Thank you, Mayor. Under Public Safety Authorization to amend Chapter 4-19 4B to increase the rate of all police officer off-duty assignments to $75 effective September 1st, 2021. Authorization to award a non-fair and open contract to Papco Industries for the furnishing of leaf bags for the borough's recycling program in an amount not to exceed $17,820. Authorization to execute a new 5-year solid waste disposal agreement with the Middlesex County Utility Authority for a period from January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2026. Authorization to extend the contract for sodium hypochlorite to Miracle Chemical Company of Farmingdale, New Jersey, for one final 2-year term with no change in price and terms, not to exceed $235,800. authorization for CME to prepare a design for the mixing tank and lime silo system for the water treatment plant, and authorization for CME to prepare a design for the replacement of the 16-inch water main on Journeyman Road.
Okay,
Thank you, Mayor.
you're very, very welcome. Go ahead.
I just have are they going to be enlarging that water main while they're going to replace it, or is it just strictly a replacement?
I believe it's a replacement.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay, we're going to move to the CFO's report. Ms. Biancamano, please. I can't hear Denise. Is she on mute or is it just my connection?
No, I think she's.
I apologize. It was me. I was on mute. Authorization to amend the 2021 local municipal budget for the ANJEC 2021 Open Space Stewardship Grant in the amount of $1,500.
Any comments or objections? Stewardship grant. This is authorization. All right, very good, Denise. I see no comments or questions. Thank you very much. Borough Engineer, any report today?
No, Madam Mayor, no report this evening.
Yes.
Mayor, may I ask Denise a question?
Of course.
Denise, so much talk about how much money we were getting. Do we have any final numbers on how much money we're actually getting through the CARES money?
No, Mayor, we do not yet.
Okay. So my next question was going to be what restrictions are on it, but since we don't know how much we're getting, I guess I don't have to know what the restrictions are on it yet. Okay, I'll ask the same question at the next meeting, I guess. Have a good night, Denise.
Thank you, Councilwoman Novak.
You too.
Borough Attorney Mike, do we have any report?
No report and no need for executive session, Mayor.
Thank you so much. Just before I move over to the public portion, I do see another comment in the chat. It is a question from Judy, and it says, when will council meetings start back up at the borough? Judy, I'm ready. I have to be honest with you. You know what? Our borough buildings are open at this point. And clearly you can see how frustrating it can be on all ends when it comes to technology. At the last meeting, I did report actually to the building just because, again, of internet issues. So I don't want to say it's necessarily ridiculous. I do think there is a benefit to doing the virtual meetings, and obviously the need to do it was for safety. I also think that there is a attend in-person meetings. So while this isn't our norm, I do think that this gave much more opportunity for individuals at home, whether it be for childcare services, or maybe they weren't well, or maybe they're still uncomfortable with coming to the borough hall. This still did allow for people to participate in the public. And I might even add that we started to get new participants rather than individuals that are more accustomed to showing up every meeting. So I don't want to say that our virtual meetings were a complete ridiculous situation. I think there's a lot of benefit that did come out of this. But if the council is okay with it, I'm more than willing and able to start going back to in-person, but I would like to see some type of a hybrid if possible, where we still have the opportunity to have individuals call in or participate virtually as well. That's my personal opinion. I do not know how the rest of the council feels. I'll just leave that out there.
I agree, Mayor. My first meeting, I don't know if you remember, I had a sleeping 2-year-old and I was, passionate about my concern, which is why I dragged my 2-year-old to the meeting. But, many people don't come to meetings because they have childcare issues or other restrictions. So I definitely feel like a hybrid is necessary and a modern necessity moving forward.
Mayor, I agree. I think we should go back to open meetings. I love the idea of a hybrid. That'll also give people that are still afraid to be in a room with other people the opportunity to listen in and speak out on anything they're interested in.
Keeps us safer and our employees safer too, to offer the hybrid option, because then if you're not feeling well, you don't feel us all safer by doing that hybrid option. But I do not know from a technology standpoint what we're capable of doing. That I would have to defer over to Mr. Bracken and to Mr. Frankel to make sure that we can do that. But I would really like to have that happen.
Mayor, if I may, Tom Bracken has been looking into the idea. He does not have what costs analysis and what it would be. We would have to evaluate that because it would be, according to him, it would be very costly to have the hybrid. Not that we don't want to do that, but I think we're going to have to come up with the price of how much that's going to cost us, and for the council to evaluate if they want to spend that money.
I think we definitely need to get that under control, to get a handle on how much that is. Listen, when it comes to transparency, I think it's very difficult to turn around and say, I'm not okay with making sure that our residents feel like they are active participants and that our way of government is not transparent. So if we can get it done, let's get it done. And but I do want to make sure if we move to in-person once again, which again, I'm ready for, let's do it. I want to make sure that people have that opportunity to continue to participate if they can't from home. So, and the freezing issue, I also think it would be, hybrid situation. So yes, Judy, that's what I am really pushing for. I want a hybrid situation because then you have the best of both worlds. And I think it gives more people from the community the opportunity to speak and participate. That is what I would hope to see. All right. I didn't know if anyone else from the council wished to add additional comment to that. If not, that takes care of my comments at this point before we open to the public. Okay, so let's open to the public then for any and all comments. If you wish to speak, please press *9. And I do not see any additional hands on my side. Jess, do you see any hands on your side?
No.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I will then entertain a motion to close the public portion and adjourn.
I make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All right, any objection? Okay, and a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening. Stay cool with this heat. Good night, all.